Wolf, komm.
Hi and welcome to Select 10. As we know, history is the best place to turn to if you want to hear some awesome stories of bravery, wars, and love. While there are plenty of shows to choose from, and to make that easy for you, we have selected 10 best historical drama, which you should watch now. Also, we have not added series like Game of Thrones, Vikings, The Last Kingdom, and Spartacus because they are the best of all time and many people already know about it. And to see what we have on this list, let's start the video. On number 10. Barbarians.
Zahlen wir im Blut.
It is a 2020 German historical war drama series created by Andreas Heckmann. And the story follows Arminius, a knight in the Roman Imperial Army and a member of the Germanic Cherusci tribe who was given away as a hostage to Rome when he was a child by his father Segimer to ensure peace between his tribe and Rome. But when he returns to Germania, he helps his father to maintain order in the region. But when he sees injustice inflicted by Roman soldiers on his former people, he becomes the new chieftain of the Cherusci tribe and ignites a rebellion by finally uniting the tribes with the help of Thusnelda to defeat Rome. Overall, these events eventually lead up to the date of September 11, 9 AD, where a massive ambush of 3 Roman legions battled Germanic tribes and faced with humiliating defeat and shocked by the treason of their trusty soldier. And the series has 7.3 rating on imdb and 86% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 9. The Musketeers. It is a historical action drama based on the characters from Alexander Dumas' 1844 novel, The Three Musketeers. The series is set in 1630s Paris and follows Athos, Aramis, and Porthos, a group of highly trained musketeers commanded by Captain Treville, who meet D'Artagnan, a skillful farm boy with hopes of becoming a musketeer. Overall, the series explores the adventures of 3 musketeers as they fight to protect King Louis XIII and citizens of Paris. The show is highly entertaining and has great story with extremely good fight sequences which will keep you hooked throughout the 3 seasons. And the show has 7.9 rating on imdb and 87% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 8. The White Queen. It is a British historical drama based on Philippa Gregory historical novel, The Cousins' War. The series is set against the backdrop of the Wars of the Roses and presents the story of the women who involved in the long conflict for the throne of England. The story begins in 1464 as the nation has been at war for 9 years, fighting over who is the rightful king, as 2 sides of the same family, the House of York and the House of Lancaster, contest a throne. Amidst this, the main story focuses on 3 women, Elizabeth Woodville, Margaret Beaufort, and Anne Neville, who manipulate political events of history to gain power. Overall, it is a story of love, lust, deception, and betrayal, uniquely told through the perspective of 3 different women. And the series has 7.8 rating on imdb and 83% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 7. Versailles. It is a French historical drama which follows King of France, Louis XIV, as he decides to build the greatest palace in the world. The series is set after 1667, where the people of France have begun to turn against the monarchy, and King Louis decides to move the French court, the center of politics and high class in France, to Versailles. But as the castle slowly goes up and French funds go down, King Louis XIV starts to lose control of his country as everyone around him contest for power and influence. While everything falls apart in Versailles, the rich elite always deliver on fancy fashion and lust-filled manipulations, so there's always plenty of drama throughout the series. And the show has 7.9 rating on imdb and 84% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 6. The Borgias.
We have a plan. We fight fire. With fire.
It is a historical drama series created by Neil Jordan. The series is set in Resurrection-era Italy and follows the Borgia family in their scandalous ascension to the papacy. While the main story follows Rodrigo Borgia as he ascends within the Catholic Church and become Pope Alexander VI, the position which brings many enemies and thrusts him and his family deep into the murky heart of politics in 15th century Europe. Now, in order to maintain their grip on power, he takes the help of his 2 sons and use all of his abilities of diplomacy, ruthlessness, charm, and the power of the church to stay in power and alive. Overall, The story is wildly entertaining, generally inaccurate, and utterly impossible to stop watching. And the show has 7.9 rating on imdb and 85% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 5. Da Vinci's Demons. It is a historical fantasy drama series which explores the early life of Leonardo da Vinci during the Renaissance in Italy. The main story follows Leonardo, an eccentric genius who begins seeing and inventing things far beyond his time. But as he desires for acceptance from his estranged father, their sometimes antagonistic relation results in Leonardo working for the House of Medici, and while doing so, he becomes embroiled in a political scheme to control Florence as he hunts for a spy who is revealing information to the Catholic Church and the Pazzi family. Amidst this, he also begins an affair with Lucrezia Donati, Lorenzo de' Medici's mistress, which leads to terrible consequences. Overall, the series depicts many of Leonardo's inventions and has great story, with lots of suspense, which will keep you at the edge of your seat. And the show has 8 rating on imdb and 82% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 4. The Pillars of the Earth. It is an epic 8-episode miniseries adapted from Ken Follett's 1989 novel of the same name. The story is set in 12th century England and begins when a mysterious secret disrupts the succession to the English throne and an unlikely member of King Henry's family assumes power. But as battles are waged for the rightful heir, Walleran and the Hamleys manipulate the conflict to meet their own needs. Meanwhile, a fire destroys Kingsbridge Church, giving master builder Tom, his son Alfred, and stepson Jack the chance to fulfill leader Prior Philip's lifelong dream of building a magnificent new cathedral. Amidst this, the series also focuses on romantic relationship between Helena and Jack, the shy artist who loves her. Overall, it is a story about betrayal and seduction and has enough bold scenes to keep you hooked. And the series has 8 rating on imdb and 88% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 3. Dirilis Ertugrul. It is a Turkish historical and adventure series directed by Metin Güney. The series follows Ertugrul, a 13th century Turkic warrior from Central Asia, which was surrounded by the Mongols to the east and the Roman Crusaders to the west. Like other Turkic tribes, Ertugrul's tribe too was pushed west by the Mongols, but unlike other tribes, the Ertugrul's Turkmen decides to fight for their homeland and encounters many challenges to conquer Mongol and Roman adversaries. Overall, this series is about the adventures of Ertugrul, one of the most famous Turkish warriors of his time, who was also the founder of the Ottoman Empire. Although the visual effects is not that great, but story is really good. And the series has 8.4 rating on imdb and 93% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 2. The Tudors. Before there was Game of Thrones, there was The Tudors. It is based on the Tudor dynasty in 16th century England and follows the early years of King Henry VIII, who ruled England for nearly 40 years during his time. And the series also focuses at Henry's famous female companions like Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn, and explores Henry's relationships with important figures like Sir Thomas More, Cardinal Wolsey, and Charles Brandon, who was Henry's best friend and unofficial advisor. Like most historical dramas, there's political twist, with lots of violence, and yes, lots of sex too. And the show has 8.1 rating on imdb and 83% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. On number 1. Rome. It is a historical drama series created by John Milius. The series is set in the 1st century BC during ancient Rome's transition from republic to empire. And the main story focuses on the lives and deeds of the families of 2 Roman soldiers named Lucius Vorenus and Titus Pullo as they witness and influence many of the historical events portrayed in the series, like the fall of the Republic and the rise of an empire. Overall, Rome is an epic historical drama depicting the period of history surrounding the violent transformation of the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. Along with great story and brutal action, the show has many intimate scenes to keep you hooked. And believe me, after Game of Thrones and Vikings, it is one of the best show, which you should watch now. And the show has 8.7 rating on imdb and 98% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.